what color to make the room. We're just gonna go with orange. Hey guys, so in today's video we're starting off the video in my bedroom, which I never film in because I wanted to leave the studio to the end. As you can probably tell by the title, I'm gonna be showing you guys the studio, but you guys have seen it in so many videos already. But I just wanted to wait until I had a bit more things in there before I actually filmed the full tour and things like that. But I've been filming there for probably like 2 months. Has it been 2 months? I think it's been 2 months. So it's not like completely new because like I said, you guys have seen it in videos if you watch my videos regularly. But I just wasn't ready to do the tour yet. I was putting this off because I was just waiting to fill it up with a few more things. But I figured what time as this time, that's not the right saying. This is as good a time as any. So we're going to be doing the studio tour today. So I'm just going to give you guys a recap of the whole process because there was a big process for me to do and I'm really excited to be sharing this with you guys finally. So how this all came about is about last year in September, I posted a video about changing your app icons on iPhone in iOS 14, which is just when the update rolled out and everybody was making videos on it. And that video, you guys, blew up and it got like 1 million views in 4 days, which was insane. And from that video, I was able to get a pretty good income so that I can actually get my business off the ground, which was amazing because I was getting closer to the end of 2020, which meant the end of my senior year. And I needed to find out how I was gonna do my business and how I was gonna get the things that I needed for my business for the following year. And then with that income, I was able to do some things which you guys, like I said, it's all thanks to you guys. So I'm really thankful for the entire support you guys have given me to be able to get this studio and just all the things that's in it. So let's get into the whole story about this whole thing because it was a long cycle. So I wasn't gonna get a studio out of my house, so this is just a room in my house. It's not like that grand or anything, but first off, what we wanted to decide which room was going to be the studio. So we have all the rooms in our house was like used or something, and I had this little room which we're actually in right now that was just where I filmed. Sometimes I don't really like to film in there because it was so empty, or in here it was so empty, and it had actually nothing except like a bed for whenever guests may have needed to come here. So I decided to make this little room like into office studio or something like that because me and my sister were planning on starting the business together, where she was also going to get a channel. Yeah, that's like where we started. So in this little room we were going to put in a desk, which would have been cramped. You can see a quick shot of how small this room is. So this room was planned to be the studio, but after a bit of consideration, I moved into the smaller room, which was previously the studio, and I moved or planned to move the studio into the bigger room next door. Also didn't really mind moving into a smaller room because I was just going to be spending all my time in the studio and not in my room, so it wasn't such a big deal. This was just the place where I sleep. But I actually like my room way better than I did in the previous room, so like I said, it all worked out great. Also, do you guys like my TV show reference wall, TV show and movies? So we have Lost, we have Star Wars, we have The Flash, we have Harry Styles, we have a bunch of Star Wars more, we have The Office, where there's The Office, we have Parks and Recreations back there, we have Marvel. I think it's pretty cool. We also have my beautiful kitten who loves to sleep with me in here. She is indeed the face of Kayla's world. So if we were to make this room into the studio, another problem would have been the clash of styles that we had. So my sister is way more light and aesthetic, I guess, and I like more moody, dark kind of colors and things like that. So that was another problem that we would have had if we had the studio in this room, because we would only have space for one style and we had to kind of mix the two together, which they are so opposite. It just wasn't gonna work. But luckily with the other room, we had more creative freedom for each of us. So we both like each other's styles also, but we also prefer our own styles. So what we decided to do, or was my idea, let's just was split the room in half. So my thought process when deciding this is obviously when you go into the room, not filming, just going into the room, it's not very pleasing to see a black and white strip like down the middle, two colors. It's not the most pleasing thing to the eye when walking into the room. But my thought was kind of more like, how will it look when filming? Because you have two different sets which are kind of identical but totally different at the same time. So that was how I decided that we needed to split the room in half like that, was because each of us had different styles and we would have two different sets where we can interchangeably film. So that was really nice as well. So sometimes I could have a more moody look in a video, and sometimes I could film at her side and have it look a bit more light. So I really liked that idea, and she went along with it as well because, I mean, it's just the best outcome for both of us. Then the next step was painting. Now, we had a few problems with like the wall that I had wanted, the black wall, because we didn't want it black, we wanted more of a charcoal color like my bedroom wall was. But when we tried chalk paint, it made marks on the wall and was terrible. So then we just had to paint over it with more, like, I think it was rooftop paint or something. But overall it came out nice and matte enough. I didn't want it to be glossy, otherwise it would not work with filming. But yeah, the painting started, and while all this is happening, I have my finals, and this is like the biggest test I've ever had, obviously, because it's my senior year. So I had to write my trick, and all this was happening, and I needed to figure out how to get all this done. But yeah, we got it done, we've painted, and then next step was finding someone who can actually get the room to look like we wanted it to look. So we wanted custom desk and decor, because we went around looking in town for desks, but there just was not something that we wanted, especially not something in our price range. If it was something we liked, it was way too expensive that we could not afford, because it meant two of everything: two desks, two setups on the walls, two racks, everything. And we wanted to have the best look while still maintaining our budget. So we actually hired someone to make some things for us. So Kubas, if you're watching this, you were amazing. Thank you so much. He did so much for us. He exceeded all expectations. He did so much effort into everything, finding the exact wood that would fit our aesthetics. Also just installing things afterwards and helping when something didn't work right. Was amazing how much he helped. So if you're in the Garden Route area of Wisdom Cape, South Africa, I would really recommend like just contacting him if you need anything done. He does amazing work, like I've said. So here is his contact information and everything on the screen if you want to contact him. Like I said, I'm really impressed and really thankful. He was so nice and just so helpful. So yeah, we just gave him our vision and told him exactly what we wanted, got inspiration off Pinterest, and he kind of just went along with our sketches and what we wanted. And like I said, exceeded our expectations. We also wanted LEDs throughout like the studio, just to give some other type of look whenever we're filming, however we wanted it to look. So the LEDs, I think, are something that really sparks up the whole place, especially with my sister's honeycombs. It just lights up the entire thing, which is really, really cool. After the desks were installed and everything was there, it was now time to actually start decorating, bringing things in and bringing the whole room together. So I got a carpet, which I was really happy about, for probably a pretty good price. It just tied in the room a bit more and made it a bit more cozy, especially helped with sound as well. And like I said, we're still a bit low on things in the studio, but we're gonna fill it up as time goes on, just when money comes in also. So that's our plan. So we're still this is still work in progress. It's not like the finished thing, but so far we're pretty happy with it. And then we also had to fill in some other things. Then I also bought these little plastic organizers to fill in the cupboards. So I had a bunch of things, loose things, miscellaneous things laying around in the cupboards and everything, and just did not look nice. So putting them in this plastic containers made it look way better, and also labeled the cupboards, each cupboard, so that you could actually know what's inside each little container that's in that cupboard. We then each just got our own little decor and put it on our shelves and whatever. And I gotta say, it's been one of the best things that I've ever invested in, is this studio. So much great content has been made in here, and it's just so fun to finally have like a dedicated space where all your equipment and all your things just are, and everything is in a good place. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the studio turned out so far, and here is the finished look and tour of the studio. Hello! Welcome to our studio. Okay, so as you can see, like I said in the intro, we have two sides here. So we have a more light side and a more dark side. So this side's my sister's side and this is my side. And I'm just going to be showing you guys our basic layout. So we both decided on L-shaped desks that go from this wall to the side walls. And it's very symmetrical, so each one has something on the wall. They're L-shaped desks with their own style and color, and as well as two floating shelves. And all of these have LEDs running through them. So we're gonna start off here at my sister's side. So this is her look that she went for. So she decided on a white wall as well as the honeycomb effect that we have over here. So this is probably my favorite part of the entire studio, is this honeycomb wall. It's very beautiful and just brings a little something and color into the studio. So we chose a cottonwood, so that was the best color for what she wanted. She wanted quite a light wood, so this is cottonwood. And here you can see everything she has on her desk. I'm gonna be honest, when we're filming, the place looks terrible and very messy, because when you're filming, everything just gets thrown around. But so on her desk, usually on average, we have here her chair that she sits on. She has a printer here, so if we need to print something, it's here on her desk usually. And then we have an iPad here as well, the iPad Pro. So here is what she edits on. So she edits on LumaFusion. All her things are in the description box in her videos, so if you want to go check her out, I'll have her channel linked in the description box below, as well as the eye up top. But she edits mostly on the iPad Pro here, and we also have the Magic Keyboard here, which helps a lot when editing, so it's really nice. And other things we have around here, she has her AirPod usually when she's editing. She also has a little diffuser here. Right now it's going with, what is this, lemon things. And we also have the HomePod Mini here. It just looks best here when filming. My desk is very dark already, so it just stands out a bit more here when in shots and everything, and it's very nice to have in the studio when wanting to listen to music. And on these two floating shelves, as you can see, we have LEDs running at the bottom of them. So this one here just has some cases and things that look good in shots. And up here she has a frame and some other just plant things, fake plants. We're not great at keeping plants alive in here. So that is all she has on her shelf. I think her side is very aesthetic and Pinteresty, so I really like her side. We also have cables. You can't see it right now. Cables running through at the bottom, and it all comes out here, and there's a little hole in the desk where all the cables come through. So that is her side. So now we're gonna move on to my side. So here we have a table. So this table, usually we move around however we want when filming. So sometimes we film on this and just have one of our sides as a backdrop. So this is just a nice thing to move around if we need different types of shots. And we also have this little plant here. It's a spec plant. I don't know if that's the right wording, but it's the only living plant in here, so we'll try to keep it alive. We also have some pillows down here. It's just subscribe button pillows and a YouTube pillow. So I got this like years ago when I just started YouTube. So I have this here as well, and I think it adds a little something. And then also there you have two little things next to my desk. So these containers I got at a plastic shop here. So those just have like notebooks and other stationery and things that I don't have place for in the cupboards. I still need a lot more storage in here, but for now that works. And also I have just my Apple Watch charging up there. So you also have at the bottom of my desk a charging station where I have all the things that we need to charge, the camera batteries, microphone batteries, all that kind of stuff we have at the bottom of my desk. It just looks better on my side because you can't see it when looking into the room, because then it just looks like a tangled mess of cables. So we also just have a charging station down there. We also have blinds here, so these are blackout blinds, so it's really helpful when filming and you want a more moody or dark shot. You can more manipulate light when it's just like covered. But if I open this up, you can see it's very bright outside, so it just helps when wanting to manipulate light a bit better. So those are our blinds, and you can also film in front of them. They make a cool backdrop, so that's also really nice. And now we're gonna move on to my side, which is way more dark. So here I decided I wanted also like the two floating shelves. I just think it looks good. And we also have this little box thing here. It's very hard to see when not having all the lights off and only having studio lights, but there is a LED light strip running down here. Here you can kind of see that's running light down, so we have that here as well. So on my desk usually we have my laptop here. I have the M1 MacBook Pro here, so I edit all my videos on there on Final Cut. I also have my AirPods there in this little peachy case. Usually I have this little thing in here, so in here are just some cables for my headphones, my AirPods Max when I'm editing. At the back here you'll see I have this little thing here which is an extender for our Wi-Fi, so it has more strength back here because our Wi-Fi doesn't run very strong in this side of the house. We also have a little Groot thing there because I loved that. I saw it at the little arts market and I just had to get it. Then we also have my AirPods Max here, which I usually edit with. And then over here we have just like my planner. So we usually have our planners on our tables as well. So that's that. Also on my shelves I have a few things here. So I have a box for my AirPods Max. I have my Star Wars figurines. So we have Chewbacca, BB-8 and Darth Vader. And then I also have our HomePod mini box, my iPhone 12 Pro Max box, and a Spider-Man figurine that I got especially for the PlayStation 5 because the Miles Morales game. So that's all I have on my shelves. Okay, so now this side of the room is just a bunch of cupboards. So this is, like I said previously, a bedroom. So here we have just like cupboards filled with things. So the first cupboard here is things that is just miscellaneous and family books and things that we don't really touch. There are a few records in here as well. I also have, you can't see it right now, I have a bag, 2 bags over here. So it's my tech bag as well as our camera bag if we need to go somewhere and film or just want to work somewhere else. Then in this cupboard here we have all our equipment. It's very empty right now because everything is being used to film right now. But I'll put in a shot when it's fully stocked. So we usually have our 2 tripods with our 2 cameras as well as the 2 studio lights. Usually in here I also just have a box here, our old tripod box with a bunch of wrapping paper in there, which is not really important, but it's there. And we also just have this tote bag that says perspective because we didn't have anywhere else to put it. Then we have this cupboard here, which is an organized mess, I must say. So a few of these things are just like thrown in here and some of these things are a bit more organized. So up here we have tech boxes. So in here is just like a bunch of like iPad boxes or Apple Watch boxes, things that I want to keep if we want to resell them or just have for shots. So all our boxes in here. I also have my MacBook box up there as well. Then here is phone boxes. So in here I have a bunch of old phones that I want to keep, phone boxes. So I have my Samsung Pocket, I have a Samsung Jet, a Note 2, all that stuff. This is a thing that I got my D-brand stuff from. So I have just like a spare Apple Pencil skin in there and things like that. So I just keep it up here. Then here we have a box with all our cables. So in here are mostly like networking cables, so Ethernet cables and things like that. I also have these things. It came with my Lazy drive. It's just like this protective padding, I don't know, but I just keep it here if I need anything like that. I have it. Then I also have this box here for all our filming equipment. So it's just little bits and bobs for our tripods, as well as a carrying case for one of our lenses, all that kind of stuff that we kind of need, and just attachments for a tripod. So everything is in this little box here. Then down here we have miscellaneous things. So here are just all of my files and folders and notebooks that I don't want out and about in the studio. A lot of pink stuff here. And then we also have little things here. So this just has a bunch of Apple Watch straps in here, I believe. I have some other cases, phone cases and things. And in here I have all of the knives that I use for unboxings. So all that is in this little area. And then here we have a section which is called TBF, which is to be filmed. So I have here just like a little container. Usually I just throw things in there that I still need to make shots of and things if I have it as a later video. So just throw it in here. Also in here we have this little thing in here which has all my hard drive and things, my SSD, and usually I have some SD cards in here as well. So that's just that. We also have our Lazy hard drive here, which is very helpful. It is a lot of storage, so that's always really helpful in here. I also have here a dongle, our other lens, because we're using another one to film right now. I have this carrying case for our mic, so I have a mic right here. So those mics usually we take when we have other events with my dad. He does a lot of events and things, so we take that with us. I also have just a bunch of pens and markers back there. I have my label maker, which is very exciting. So I labeled all these things. I labeled too much things, but it's fine. And I just have other miscellaneous pens and things also in here. So it's just not really just to be filmed, but it just houses a lot of things. And then in here we just have a bunch of camera boxes, my Nintendo Switch stuff, and then just other wood things here that are not really important that we just sometimes use when my dad films in here. And then lastly we have this area called network. So in here we just have all our modems and things, backup modems that we had for our previous Wi-Fi, all in here, so it's easy to grab. And we also just have this light here, which is like a color changing light if we need it for a shot. Then we just have two things down here which I'm not going to show, but it's just little pillows and things that usually my sister's baby plays with when she's in here. And then we also have just backup boxes, so old boxes that came in the mail that we just keep if we need to use it. And we also just have a carrying bag for our tripod. We also just have this calendar hanging here. I got it from Typo. It just has a bunch of cool graphics. That's the only reason I got it. We don't actually use it for a calendar, but it had a bunch of cool graphics that I thought, you know, why not just hang it up here. We have this spur hook, so we have this here. So it's the end of February now, so we're just gonna change it to March real quick, which is actually my birthday month. So yay, I can't switch this for the life of me. Okay, so it's actually hanging on this DIY kind of hook because it has like a weird thing. But anyway, we have March here, which is a nice record sandwich, I guess. And a bunch of money in there. I don't really know, but it looks cool. And the 1st of March is World Compliment Day, so give someone a compliment. So that was our studio tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I've said, it's not very filled up. We still have a lot of things we actually want to get in here, more storage and things, but for now I think it's good as is. I've never really enjoyed having a space of my own like I have with this studio. It's really nice to have something that's like your taste and your style, as well as working with someone you love, so you can just have each other's company. But yeah, that's our studio. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and comment down below any other questions you have for me surrounding our studio. All of our gear are linked in the description box below if you are interested in what we're using to film. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Definitely subscribe by clicking on the icon on the screen, click on the playlist to see all of my other tech related videos, and click on the video to see my previously uploaded video. See you guys next time. Bye!